Hi guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of January 14th, 2022. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor. So stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure that you don't miss my news updates, new video tutorials, and our podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Let's talk about the current Kickstarter games funding right now, and there's quite a bit. Up first, there's a horror board game for solo play funding fast called Final Girl. This is Series 2, which adds more content to the original and allows more gamers to pick up their own copies who missed the first campaign. If you're a solo gamer and a fan of horror movies, this is a must-have. Get the core box with any feature film box to play. The more films you have, the more killers and location combinations you can experience. 2 of the new feature film boxes in this campaign are replicants of The Thing and Alien movies. Check it out. A new vibrant Euro game called Dompierre is funding now and is all about crafting champagne and selling it to the royal court during the beginning era of champagne in the 17th century. It's for 2 to 4 players and plays in 2 hours, produced by R&R Games, who also made games like Mombasa and Rajas of the Ganges. Blazon is a new card drafting, puzzly, tableau building game set in a world of medieval heraldry where players create their own shields. From 25th century games, and for 1 to 4 players, earn your rank by accumulating prestige as you blazon your shield to distinguish yourself among your peers and be crowned the King of Arms. It plays in 30 to 60 minutes. In Skytear Horde, fight off waves of monsters and destroy the outsider in this castle defense card battler. It can be played solo, co-op, or competitive up to 3 players. The PvP offers asymmetric gameplay, and they boast the game is designed first for solo gamers. For a lighter card game, check out Dirty Laundry from Quokka Games. Expose your opponent's dirty little secret while you unfold your dirty little plan. For ages 7 and up, it's a take that game about sabotage while you try to wash your dirty laundry first. It's for 2 to 6 players, and a variety of cards are played face down into a communal washing machine. Pay attention as opponents may be trying to ruin your laundry. Hike is another 2 to 6 player card game funding on Kickstarter, but it's a card drafting racing game with huskies. Assemble your husky sled and race through the snowy wilderness. It plays in 20 to 45 minutes for ages 8 and up. Combine skill and luck to draft cards, build patterns, and race across the finish line first. Collab is relaunched on Kickstarter and funded in 4 hours. It's a mad science, competitive dice worker placement, tableau, and engine building game for 1 to 4 players. Become the most renowned scientist by sending out minions, collecting dice, build an engine of potions, monsters, and devices. There's a lot of unique mechanisms to this game, so check it out while it's still funding. Also being relaunched on Kickstarter is Hostile Hoarders, a casual card game fueled by ridiculous visual puns. Players must wield makeshift weapons to gather rations for survival after a nuclear apocalypse. Collect enough rations or be the last one standing to win. Also in the Kickstarter is a Not Safe for Work After Dark Edition 2. A short time-traveling apocalyptic co-op game called This Didn't Happen is funding on Kickstarter for 1 to 4 players. It plays in 15 to 30 minutes and has players traveling through time to stop the apocalypse from happening. It plays primarily through card play. Check out the new deck builder called Puzzle Strike 2 for 1 to 4 players. It's inspired by the video game Puzzle Fighter 2 HD Remix and is full of miracle turns, magical gems, and a scepter of power that tests your greed. Comes with boards, gem tokens, cards, and even a scepter. The The game plays in 20 to 30 minutes. A 2-player card game is funded called Boba Mahjong that plays in 20 minutes. It's a colorful family set collection card game themed around creating boba drinks. Become bubble tea baristas and score the most points for the ingredients you've collected. Another 2-player card game funding now is called Clash at Rook's Point. Choose your faction, plan your moves, and win control of Rook's Point, the center of power, magic, and mystery. Whoever controls it controls the world. There's 4 factions to choose from, and if you buy a second copy, you can play up to 4 people. The interactive co-op card game Sink or Swim has funded on Kickstarter and is for 3 to 6 players. It's all about synchronized swimming, planning routines, trading cards, and diving for items. It's a real-time game, and the routines start small but grow in complexity. It plays in 30 to 45 minutes. The YouTube channel The Dice Tower is running their annual Kickstarter funding campaign for their channel. If you want to support them financially and get cool promos for various games, check out their campaign. They offer lots of Dice Tower promos for backers to incentivize your support. They review, play, and talk about board games online. The designer of Kemet has a new Euro conflict game on Kickstarter called Yucatan. From Matago Games, fight other clans in order to assure your people's safety from the god's wrath. Take as many prisoners as you can and sacrifice them throughout 4 seasons. It's for 1 to 4 players and plays in an hour. There's miniatures and a cardboard pyramid that you assemble. Adorablins is a pocket-sized storytelling game for 2 to 5 players ages 8 and up. It plays in 30 to 90 minutes and comes in a mint can. Play as little goblin-like creatures going on adventures in an endless variety of places. Tell a story together and overcome challenges. There is a narrator player as well. A new dinosaur theme park game is funding on Kickstarter called Saria, the Dinosaur Park Survival Game. In this one, you must survive and escape a dinosaur theme park that's on a volcanic island ready to explode. Explore the island for weapons, supplies, and tools, and fight off dinosaurs. You'll find encounters and stumble across dangerous terrain. You're not running the park, you're trying to survive. A new combat exploration board game for 1 to 5 players called Guardians of Fire is funding on Kickstarter now. Set in mythological Persia and based on a comic series, it's a deeply strategic, challenging, and compelling campaign game that's fully replayable. Choose to fight for the side of light or darkness. Become a hero as a warrior priest or control a horde of evil minions. Just launched this week is Trading Post for 2 to 6 players. Explore new lands, trade resources, and experience conflict while trying to build the greatest trading post. Gain points by adding buildings to your post, exploring, and completing in-game bonuses. Use action and conflict cards effectively over the 7 rounds to win. In industry news, Catan Studio just announced the locations for the U.S. National and World Championships for this year. The U.S. one will be in Columbus, Ohio at the Origins Game Fair June 8th to 12th. Applications are being accepted through May 1st. The World Championship will be in Valletta, Malta in November at the Grand Hotel Excelsior. They expect over 60 competitors from 40 countries. The current world champion, Quetzal Hernandez, will be competing as well. The New York Toy Fair this year was canceled by the Toy Association. It's the 2nd year in a row due to COVID concerns. It was scheduled February 19th at the Javits Center, but not anymore. Additional cancellation reasons given were the state of travel and staff absences due to illness at home. The Essen Game Fair event has just been sold to ensure it can still be ran and be successful for decades to come. Previously organized by the International Spieltage Spiel, now it will be operated by the Nuremberg Toy Fair organizer Spielwarenmesse e.g. Direwolf is bringing a digital version of Everdell to Steam, Apple Store, and Google Play. It's a top 100 board game with excellent artwork from Andrew Bosley and will be able to now be played digitally and online. It's the latest in digital board game adaptations from Direwolf, including Root, Raiders of the North Sea, and Sagrada. We'll see what game they do next. Hasbro has a new CEO effective February 25th. Chris Cox was the president of Wizards of the Coast and will now join the Hasbro board of directors as their new CEO. He'll replace their interim CEO, Rich Stoddart, who took the role when Brian Goldner died of cancer. Stoddart will become chairman of the board. No announcement has been made yet about who the next president of Wizards of the Coast will be. Exploding Kittens Incorporated has a new president now due to a promotion. Carly McGinnis now takes over as president, while Elan Lee remains the CEO. She had various management roles there, including head of production, sales, and logistics. The founder of Games Workshop just received knighthood from the Queen's New Year Honor List. Now called Sir Ian Livingstone, he started the company in 1975 with John Peake and Steve Jackson and brought D&D and Warhammer to the European market. Pretty cool. Moving on to the latest new game announcements, expansions, reprints, and more, Agents of Smersh is getting a reboot from Everything Epic. The Epic Edition comes out in March for $129.99. It's a narrative storytelling game where players are elite secret agents searching for the evil Dr. Lobo. In the new edition, intel is no longer a win condition, but needed to find locations for the henchmen and the Doctor. From Renegade Game Studios comes an expansion to Vampire the Masquerade Rivals expandable card game called Shadows and Shrouds. Coming this March, it adds 2 new clans, the Lasombra and Hecata. It's for 2 to 4 players and will require the core set to play. Onitama is getting a new expansion called Light and Shadow on January 19th. It adds ninjas and 2 new game modes with a hidden movement mechanism. It's for 2 players ages 14 and up and plays in 15 minutes. The latest expansion will retail for $19.99. Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid is getting 2 more expansions, Time Force Ranger Pack and Merciless Minions Pack number 1. Both are coming in April and require the base game to play. The former will retail for $45 and the latter $55. Steve Jackson Games just announced a mini expansion for Munchkin called Munchkin Goats. It can be added into any core Munchkin game and will retail for $10.95 in May. The popular puzzle escape game series Exit is getting a new game, this time themed around the Lord of the Rings. Exit Lord of the Rings Shadows over Middle-earth will come out in June and follows Samwise and Frodo on an adventure to destroy the ring at Mount Doom. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 10 and up and will retail for $19.95. The newest Tiny Epic game is coming this spring from Gamelin Games called Tiny Epic Dungeons. It's a co-op dungeon crawl in the fantasy lands of Achmor. Act 1 is the dungeon and Act 2 is the boss. It will retail for $39.99. Common Games is releasing 2 new starter sets for the Game of Thrones themed game A Song of Ice and Fire. The Stark starter set and Lannister starter set will come to retail on February 18th for $99 each. It's for 2 or more players and plays in 45 to 60 minutes. Star Wars X-Wing 2nd Edition is getting 2 new ship packs from Atomic Mass Games. The Razor Crest expansion pack comes with Din Djarin's ST-70 assault ship and upgrade cards and will retail for $37.99. The Pride of Mandalore reinforcement pack adds new ship cards featuring characters from the Mandalorian TV series. It will retail for $24.99. Both are expected to release February 25th. Also from Atomic Mass is an expansion to Marvel Crisis Protocol, Nick Fury, and S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. No release date has been announced yet. From Reiner Knizia, his classic Euro bidding game Amon-Ra is getting a 20th anniversary reprint from Renegade Game Studios. They will also be releasing 3 new expansions simultaneously for the game when it comes out this spring. Not much information is known, but check their website as more details emerge. Coming in March from Portal Games is Gutenberg. Players are printing pioneers, building up fame and wealth by growing production and support of patrons. Bid on actions over the course of 6 rounds to score the most points. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 1 to 2 hours. Expected to retail for $70. 2 new family board games were announced from Bananagrams Incorporated, Germs and Word-A-Melon. Germs is a tile placement strategy game, while Word-A-Melon is a word search memory game. Flip letter chips to make words with the revealed letters. Both games are for 2 to 4 players ages 6 and up. Coming later this year from Hutch Games is Goblin Coaster, a cooperative track-building game about building underground roller coasters in a goblin's underground lair. Find the right pieces to extend the track before the goblin's runaway minecart causes an accident. Richard Garfield's newest game is Dungeons, Dice, and Danger and will hit retail in March from Ravensburger. Go through a labyrinth to find treasure, rolling dice to avoid monsters in the 4 realms. Gain abilities as you go. It's for 1 to 4 players and plays in 30 to 45 minutes. Expected to retail for $24.99. A unique courtroom trial board game, Voices in My Head, is coming in the first quarter from Corey Conexa. One player is the prosecutor and the others are voices in the guy's head while he's on trial for robbery. Each player with a voice must accomplish hidden goals to win, while the prosecutor must convict him. It's for 3 to 6 players ages 12 and up. Out today is a dexterity game by Studio H called Fish and Chips. Team up as seabirds to eat fish on the beach. Toss various valued chips onto the beach playmat to score points. Whichever team scores the most points wins. It plays in 15 to 20 minutes for 2 to 8 players. Mantic Games is releasing a cooperative 1 to 5 player miniatures board game called The Umbrella Academy: The Board Game. Use cards and minis and work together to stop various places around the city from being destroyed. More details will come later. Pandasaurus Games has a skateboarding game coming to Kickstarter next week called Skate Summer. Score the most points through comboing tricks, collecting gold tokens, and going to various locations. Use cards to maneuver the board. The game ends once a player's score meets or passes the in-game token. It's for 2 to 5 players and plays in 45 minutes to an hour. In March, check out Dungeonology: Leonardo's Workshop by Ludus Magnus Studio. Ares Games is distributing this expansion to the US for the first time. You'll need the base game of Dungeonology to play. Cranio Creations is releasing a new fantasy board game called Ariantis on February 25th. It features worker placement and area control with 12 different characters to be. It takes place in a world of floating magical islands where fantasy creatures try to attend magic schools. The players are the headmasters. It's for 2 to 4 players and plays in 45 minutes. Expected to retail for $49.99. Seas of Havoc is a new pirate game where players are captains of their own ships and do battle with each other. Move around the high seas with cards and open fire when your ship faces an opponent. Acquire useful resources on the islands, upgrade, and repair your ship. Seas of Havoc will launch on Kickstarter in February from Rock Manor Games. AEG has a new game about adventurers exploring the kingdom to update their maps since the cities have lost contact with each other. The Guild of Merchant Explorers is up for pre-order now and will come out in June. Lastly, coming January 26th from Lightman Games is Questlings RPG. For 2 to 5 players, take on the roles of 2 characters, you as a kid and your inner hero that kid wants to be. Go on an adventure driven by a map and a storybook. It will retail for $19.99. For what's going on with me and the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel, the biggest piece of news is that next Saturday, the 22nd, I'll be at the Luck Factory Games Cafe in Concord, North Carolina for a mega board game event. I made an announcement video all about it and you can register and attend. They're hosting and teaching the new Vampire Masquerade mega game, Blood Feud. It plays in teams of 4 up to 32 people. I plan to bring cameras and film what I can to make an engaging Let's Play video about it. I also did an unboxing for Awaken Realms' latest Kickstarter that delivered, The Great Wall. I got the plastic miniatures version. You can see what's inside along with the stretch goals box. I also created a tutorial video for Cuphead fast rolling dice game from The Op. Check it out on the channel to see all about it. Jay's Takeaways was on the game For Sale, which is an older fan favorite. And our latest podcast episode together was an interview with Sean Lee, the designer of Citrus. It's coming to Kickstarter in April and is a fun worker placement cyberpunk game. We played it after talking to him, and we both really enjoyed it. Next week, look for the tutorial for Carcassonne and then Tidal Blades. All the footage is shot and now I'm just editing. It's going to be a long one since there's a lot to cover with its variants, expansion, and solo mode. So thanks for tuning in to today's news update, and I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.